Hello, friends. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. This is going to be particularly for the people that are in the Bible Journal Love group or are taking a class from Bible Journal Love. And in particular, the classes that are in the Bible Era series. Some of the things will apply to all of the classes and kits, but I'm particularly going to talk about Bible Journal Love, Bible Era classes and kits. So there's 12 classes and 12 kits that go along with the classes. And all of the sign up and links and stuff are handled by Robin through Bible Journal Love. So I'm just starting at the point where you get your link to your resources. And I'm not going to really talk about, well, I'm not going to talk at all about the classes at this point. I'm just going to talk about how to download your kit, how to organize your kit, and how to work with your kit. So if that is something that you're interested in, then carry on. If not, feel free to click off and go do something else. Okay, one of the first things to understand about Robin's kits is that they are basically 3 different kits in one. Most of the things that you purchase from Etsy or other places will be one of these types of kits. They'll either be printable or digital. Hybrid is kind of a combination. So I think it brings a little bit of confusion because Robin gives us so much in each kit that you're not sure always what to use for what. I know I was confused at the beginning, so I thought I would do this video just to help make things a little bit clear, hopefully. So the 3 different kits are basically, this is just a simple overview of all 3. So there's a printable kit, a digital kit, and then a hybrid kit, which is a combination. So the printable kit, first of all, is you just print the pages out, you cut them out in some fashion, and you make your project. That's it. There's no software required, no extra software required. You can make multiple different end projects. You can make a notebook, you can do dex cards, you can make a journal, you can make traveler's notebook, lots of different things you can do. And you can print the pages on paper. You can print them on cardstock. You can print them on sticker paper. There's white sticker paper and clear sticker paper that are both made for computer printers. If you use the clear sticker paper, then you don't have to worry so much about the extra margin showing, which is a really great option. So there's lots that you can do with just the printables. So if you're just starting out, or if you don't have any design software at this point, or you don't want to work with that, then printable is the way to go. It's the simplest way to do it, and it's really easy to get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of these types of kits. I'm going to start with the printable one, then I'm going to go to digital, and then hybrid. So I'm going to put timestamps in the description below so that if you're looking for printable, just stay tuned. If you're looking for digital, you can just go to the timestamp and fast forward to that, and the same with hybrid. So let's just dig into the printable first of all. Okay, so when you click on your link that you got for your kit, you will be taken to a Dropbox location. Now, Dropbox is just basically a place where Robin puts the kit so that you can access the kit. It's not your working area. So the first thing you need to do is get it from the box, the Dropbox, and put it on your own computer. So there's usually 3 different sections in the Dropbox, 3 main sections. The first one is, they're in different orders sometimes, but the first one here is journal pages. The second one is the digital kit, and the third one is the printable kit. So if you are using the printable kit, then really all you need is this printable kit here. And probably the journal pages as well. You do not need the digital kit. If you know that you're never going to use the digital kit, don't even worry about downloading it. If you want to download it and store it on your computer in case you want to use it at some point in time, you can go ahead and do that as well. But if you're starting out, let's just go to the printable kit. So you would go click on the printable kit. And the first thing you would just do is just download. Click download, and all of that information in the printable kit will be on your computer. It'll usually go to a downloads folder, and then you can organize it and put it where you want to make it easy to work with. And but then it's on your computer. If you hit this back arrow here, or different computers are different, but if you go back here and look at journal pages, sometimes they're called journal pages, sometimes they're called treasure journals. And I don't believe they're in every single kit. They might be there, they might not be there. But these are papers that Robin has already added some elements to. So basically it's just kind of put your, or just print them out basically, and you can handwrite your text in the boxes, you can glue on your stickers, whatever you want to do. So they're kind of ready to go. So if we click on that, you would also download that. This file is sometimes in a zip file. These pages are sometimes in a zip file and sometimes not. If they're in a zip file, you would download it and then unzip it. Some computers you can just double click to unzip a file. Some computers you might need a special utility program like PK Unzip is one, and 7-zip. There's many of them. If you just Google free zip utility, you can just pick one and use it if you're not familiar with that. So on your computer now, you'll have these journal pages, and you'll also have your printable kit. So now, in order to work with the kits, it's helpful to do a little bit of organization. So the first thing that I do, I have one main folder. You can keep this on your desktop or wherever you like, but I call this Bible Eras. And then within that Bible Era folder, I have subfolders for each one of the eras. So I just number them so that they stay in that order. So 00 Overview Era. So that's the one we're looking at first. The next one is Creation Era, Patriarch Era, and so on. So you can add as many as you need there. So if you go into Overview Era, I have 3 subfolders in there. And usually I'll save the kit link. So you can put that in a document and save it in this folder so that if you want to go back and maybe download the digitals later, or maybe you lost your files somehow and you need to go back and get them, you always have your kit link. And the second one is your printables. So if I click on printables, this is all of the individual files that we just downloaded from Dropbox. So if I click on the first one, I'll just make this a little bigger so you can see the name. So the first one is verses. So here's a page with 9 different verses. There's 3 different pages of verses. There's some bookmarks there. I think maybe they're bookmarks or journal spots. There's word art, all different types of things, all different elements, flowers, people, friends, frames, tags, journal spots. There's dex cards here, quick dex cards. The difference between the dex cards and the quick dex cards is the quick dex cards already are decorated for you. So if you want a real shortcut, then you just go to the dex cards and print out those and then add a couple of elements and you're good to go. So what you would do here is just decide what you want to print out. You don't have to print out everything. Say you just want to start with 4 quick dex cards. So you would print out this page on your printer. I would suggest probably printing those out on some type of cardstock so they're a little bit thicker. And then you can decide what you want to put on there. These verses are perfectly sized to go onto the Dex cards. So if you print these, you can cut them out, put them on your Dex card, and basically you're done. You can print these out on cardstock as well. You can print them out on copy paper, or you can use the sticker paper option. So we would print it out, cut it out with a pair of scissors, and you're good to go. If you want to make it a little bit fancier, you can cut out some of the people here. You can cut out the clusters. Again, if you use the clear sticker paper, you don't have to worry about all these little, you know, angles and stuff. You can just rough cut it out and it won't show. There's other frames, tags, those ones you probably wouldn't use with the quick Dex cards. And you would print out, so say you wanted to print out a few flowers and butterflies and one set of verses, you print out 3 pages, cut them out, and you're good to go. You can make at least 4 lessons of Bible journaling with just those 3 pages. And if you print out another page of Dex, the quick Dex cards, then you've got even more. So you've got 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. So that's one of the really simple options that you can start with. Another thing that you could do is just get a notebook. You could have a traveler's notebook, just any sort of spiral notebook, and print out a couple of these pages, maybe on sticker paper, or you can cut and glue them on. So you decide what you want. Maybe you want this one. Maybe you want some of the verses, and maybe you want the label so that you can put your text there. So you would print out those different pieces and cut them out, and then you would glue or put them as stickers into your notebook and add your text on the lines of the notebook around it. So that's another option. Very simple and easy. Another option with just the printable kit is you can use the papers. So we also downloaded the papers. In the printables section, there was also a zip file with all of the papers. I unzipped it and I put it under papers. So that's these papers that came in the printable section in the Dropbox. So if I click on that, I can look at, there's a preview here and it shows me all the different papers that are included in this kit. And then I can page through them one by one and see all the different papers that are there. And they're all made to coordinate. So what you can do is you can pick a couple that you like, maybe a blue check and maybe something with flowers and, you know, maybe this little yellow flower. So you can print as many as you want, really, and you can print, you know, several pages, several copies of the same page as well. So print out whatever you want, print them on cardstock or copy paper, and then you can make your own journal. So I'm going to show you some projects after this, but what you can do is just print out some papers. You can make a junk journal type thing, or a treasure journal, we call it, with these papers. And then you can also go into your printables and add, you know, you can cut out the ladies, the clusters, the elements, all of those different things, and put them on the papers, glue them or stick them onto the papers, and make your own journal that way. So that's another great option. And you can also, if you go into the papers, the journal pages are there as well. And here's just a little preview of some of the journal pages. The journal pages are so beautiful. It's kind of like the quick Dex version of the Dex cards. So they're already decorated for you. A lot of them have journal boxes on them, so you can just print, write your text by hand into those boxes, maybe add a couple of extra stickers if you want. You don't even have to in this option because they're already decorated. You might want to do a couple titles, and there you go. You can make your own journal, treasure journal, basically with those as well. One thing that I like to do is print one of these treasure journal pages or journal pages on one side of the paper. And if you turn it over, it's kind of tricky to line up another journal page on the back. So what I usually do is I print a paper on the back. And then you don't have to line up anything. And so you'll have one side will be a journal page and the other side will be one of the papers. And then you can fold them in half. I'll show you how to do all that in a minute. And then you can make your own treasure journal from that. So basically, that's the printable section. I just went into some of the basic options. You can go to town. You can make all kinds of different things. If you are part of the Facebook group, there's lots and lots of inspiration there. If you use the hashtag, I'm not sure if it's overview era or Robin called it one unified story. So you'd have to kind of check around what the hashtag is. But if you put the hashtag, or there's albums as well that you can look at, and there's lots and lots of inspiration there. But I just wanted to give you really basic things so that you can get going if that's what you want to do. So I'll show you a couple examples of the printables next. So here's a couple of examples of things that I made using mainly the printable kits. So this one was when I kind of first started, and I did the Bible overview. And what I did is I just took this was one of the journal pages, and I actually printed 2 per page. That's another thing that you can do. I printed 2 per page, so that's the size of the page, because I wanted a smaller booklet for this one. And I just cut it out, folded it in half, and this one I stitched in some pages. And the same thing with this one. This one was actually the schedule for the creation era. So I just printed that out. I didn't even print on the back of these, and I stitched in some papers, and there you have a little booklet. If you use the full sheet, then you would get a larger booklet. So that's a really great way to start. Just make yourself a booklet, use one of the treasure journals, sew in a signature, and print some stickers and add some stickers or die cuts to it, and journaling tags and verses, whatever you want. This is one that I made using oh dear, I can't remember which kit this is, but it was a journal page in one of the eras, and it came exactly like this. I added just some coffee dyed paper and a word label and another little word label there, but this was just a journal page. So I printed this one half size, and I just sewed in some papers. And this, I printed some patterned paper from the kit on the back of it. So simple little thing. Again, you can do that in full size, and you can have a journal for your whole course, your whole month-long course. This is one that is a bit of a combination that I made a while ago. This is not one of the era kits, but it's one of Robin's other kits. It's the Sweet Sheep kit. But on this one, every other page, let's just find one here. Okay. So this one was just, I printed out the Dex card onto cardstock. And then this is a sticker, this is a sticker, and this is a sticker. I just printed some of the elements onto sticker paper, and I just stuck that onto there. Same with this one. I printed out a Dex card, sticker, sticker, sticker. This is the same thing, a Dex card like that, and stickers. And you probably get the idea, but so that's a really easy way to make the Dex cards. I made my Dex cards into a little booklet. You can do that as well. That was another little way to do things. And again, you can make this in any size. This is another one that I made quite a while ago. And this one I used the pattern papers in the kit. This was a different kit as well. It wasn't the Bible Eras, it was the Honeybee kit. And I just printed out a couple of each different pattern paper and used them as scrapbook paper to cover different things. I made little tucks like this. This was a sticker, so that I just printed some of the bees onto sticker paper. This was just one of the pattern papers. I just cut out a tag out of cardstock and put one of the little stickers on. This is one of the little die cuts. This is from the pattern paper. You can make, you know, something like this, again, in any size that you want. This is more of a junk journal type thing. I covered lots of the pages with the pattern paper. I added the stickers, and it makes a cute little journal. So it doesn't have to be simple. It can be a little more complicated as well. This is something that I made. I did create this page digitally myself using elements from the Contagious Grace kit, but you could use any one of the journal pages. They're so beautiful on their own. Print the journal page on one side, print one of the background pages on the other side, and make yourself a traveler's notebook cover. This one I made using the Autumn kit, and a lot of this was this was just all little die cuts that I had. So the raccoon was separate, and the corn and the basket and the fruit, it was separate, 2 separate pieces. This was a separate piece. So I cut these out probably on my Cricut, but you could fussy cut them out as well, and just put them on your pages like this. And I used some of my own scrapbook paper here and some of the kit paper. And like this bird, this little girl was in the kit. So I used, you know, several of the die cuts just to put ornaments on decorations on all of these pages. So those were all from the kit as well. And this one was one of the most recent eras. This is the Silence era that I did in June. And my printer stopped working reliably. It's still not working well. So I can't actually print out something to show you how to do this now. But anyways, with this one, I just made a folio, and well, it's like a tied journal cover. And then I made four different folios that I put together like this in, there's 4 signatures in each one. And this was just pattern paper from the kit. So I just printed out the pattern paper, cut it out, and put it on the kit. And I used some cardstock, some blue cardstock that I had. And then here I just made pockets and put pattern paper there as well. You know, many different options with just using the printables. I guess that was my point. You know, it can be super simple. It can be more complex. You can do, you know, fancy things like this, whatever you would like. I think I'm planning to do a super simple treasure journal type thing that would be for basically beginners in any of the eras. And I'll do a separate video for that, but I'll just print out a journal page for the cover. I'll print on the opposite side with some paper. I'll maybe put a couple pockets in just to show you that. So in 1 or 2 signatures, print out a couple sticker sheets for stickers, and I'll show you how that all comes together. But that'll be in a different video. I'll link it to this one when I get that made. So let's move on to digital. So the second kit that is included in your Bible Journal Love kit is called the digital kit. And with the digital kit, what we would do is design a page or a card in a certain software. We need some software to use those files. So we would design it and then go. We could store it in files. We can share it on Facebook, and I hope that you do. You can make a slideshow with it so that you can share that with all of your lessons, or just review your lessons there. Okay, so we're going to talk about the digital kit now. So I just decided to move on to the creation era. If you watch the printable section, I did the overview kit there. And this will be the same in pretty much every kit, but I'm just going to show you a different kit. So this is how the digital version is going to look. So again, we have, well, this is why I decided to do different ones, because sometimes there's a little bit different items here. So here we have digitals. So the digital kit, the printable kit. There, this is a preview. If you click on that, it shows you a preview of the entire kit. And there's an oops folder in this one that is just something extra that Robin forgot the first time or added the extra something. So that's what that oops is for. It's sometimes there, sometimes not there. So if you go into the printables, it's just like we looked in the printables there. The one thing I just wanted to point out here is there's the papers in zip format, just like we had in the overview section in printables, but the journal pages are here as well in PDF format. But if we're working in digital, we don't need any of that. We just go into the creation era digitals. And here we would just download, press download up here, and it would download all of these things to your download folder. Then we would organize them on our computer and use them to work with there. Again, the Dropbox is just a way for Robin to, she puts the files in the Dropbox and we get them out of the Dropbox. They're not a place for you to work with. So what we have here is all these different sections, and then at the bottom we have papers. So these papers are exactly the same as the papers in the printable kit, except these ones are in JPEG format, JPEG, I can't say that. It's just referred to as JPEG, but JPG files that are more usable in our digital programs. So it's the same papers, you don't need both. And the journal pages are in here as well in JPEG format as well. So again, if you're just using digital, you do not need anything in this creation era printables folder at all. You can still download it and store it if you'd like, but you don't need it. So we would go into digitals, we would click download, and all of these files will go onto our computer. And then I'll show you just how to organize them. Okay, so again, I just have my Bible Eras main folder here. And within the Bible Eras folder, I have all of the different eras. I have just 3 eras so far in here. We went through the overview era in the printables portion of the video. And now I'm going to look in the creation era for the digital kit. So now we've just downloaded the digital kit and we can move it into these folders to organize it. Again, I have a folder with the kit link, which will be, I'll just take the kit link that was provided by Robin, and I'll put it in a document and store it here in case I ever want to go back and download one of the printables that I didn't download before, or if they got corrupted or deleted on my computer, I can always go back to the kit link and re-download them. The second folder that I have is called digitals. So if I click on digitals, then this is all of the different folders that were on our Dropbox. And I think when I did this a while ago, I kind of changed my way of doing it now. I kind of renamed things. I wish I wouldn't have done that now, but so yours will be slightly different than this. So if I go into clusters now, if I click on one of those, all I see is one element. Whereas in the printables, if I clicked on one of these files, I saw a whole page of elements. Now, if I click on these ones, I see one individual element. And these are in PNG format, whereas the printables were in PDF format. So I really can't just print one of these elements because these elements are meant to be manipulated in a digital program. We can change the size, we can change the color, we can add things, add more elements together. We can make an element on top of a frame, different things. So these are just individual and they're meant to be put into something like Photoshop elements to use as to design with digitally. I just want to say I use Photoshop elements, and there's also Photoshop, I use Photoshop elements, and there's also Photoshop CC, which stands for Creative Cloud. And the difference between the two, Photoshop CC is a little bit larger version of a little more robust program than Photoshop Elements. It's got more to it. And it's also a subscription program. So you pay a monthly subscription. So you never actually purchase the program, you purchase a license, I guess, to use the program. And if there's an update in Photoshop CC, then you automatically get the update because you're paying every month, and you pay every month as long as you want to keep using it. If you quit paying, you don't have the program anymore. So some people like that option. The other option is Photoshop Elements, which is a program that you purchase, and you purchase it one time, and then you never pay for anything to do with that program again. So there's no monthly fees. It's a little bit more to purchase it up front, but then you have that basically forever. I purchased mine during Black Friday, and I believe every Black Friday it goes on a deep discount. So if you're looking for that, that might be a good time to pick it up. And the one thing with Photoshop Elements is if you are wanting to, well, every year there's an upgrade, and if you want to upgrade to the next level, or not level, but the next feature set, I guess, then you would have to repurchase the program. Whereas in Photoshop CC, they automatically give it to you. If you're happy with the version that you have, you never have to update it. You don't have to update it. Photoshop Elements has so much in it that I don't think I would ever use everything in an entire lifetime. So I'm happy with Photoshop Elements. It can do everything that I want to do and more. But those are the differences. And then there's also several free programs, and I don't know the names of all of them. But if you Google Photoshop free alternatives or free versions or something like that, you will see several different programs. And if that's what you want to do, feel free to research those and use one of those programs as well. So that's just a little word about the programs. So each one of these subfolders has, again, these individual elements. This is a journal spot. These are themes. So that would fit the particular era that we're studying. These are the verses, and the verses are individual. They're not all in one page. So in a digital program, you can make them bigger, smaller. You can recolor them. You can put them on top of things. Whereas the printable version, you just print them and cut them out basically. And then here's words. Again, you can make these bigger, smaller, recolor them, put them on top of each other, whatever you want to do. So that's the digital area. And then the papers, these are the same two different papers that were in the printables, except they're in JPEG format, like I was saying before. And so these can be brought into your digital program as well. And so what you would do is you would bring one of these pages into your digital program. You would add other digital elements. You might add a butterfly and one of the verses and maybe a text box, and you can actually put some digital text there, or you can print it out and handwrite it later. So there's journal pages. Those are the ones that are pre-decorated for you. And then there's papers, which are just like scrapbooking paper that you can use. And you can use a piece of them. You can use the whole thing for a background. There's lots of different ways that you can use those. Just going back to the digital area here first, I also was talking about the Dex cards, which is a great option for journaling as well. And there's two different kinds of Dex cards. These are called Dex cards, and they're basically a background in the shape of a Dex card. And a Dex card is just something that goes onto a Rolodex type holder, I guess. You wouldn't have to do that. And there's lots of, I know Robin has a video and I have a video on how to make your own Dex card box. And there's lots of other ones on the internet too, or you can just put them on in a journal. You don't have to put them on a holder. And then there's quick Dex cards, which are already decorated for you. So the journal cards the journal pages that we saw in the paper section are already decorated for us. And if we go back to the Dex cards, the quick Dex cards are already decorated for you. So you can actually take one of these Dex cards in your program. You can take one of your verses in your, find one that, it's sort of the same shape, if it's circle or whatever. Find one that fits well, and then just plop it onto the quick Dex card, print it out. If you want to print it out, you don't have to print it out. You can just store it digitally, and basically you're done. You can add a couple butterflies or flowers or something to decorate it more if you want. But the quick Dex cards are almost complete in their own. And the last section I have here on the digital side is lesson pages. So I would have a folder just to put my lesson pages. Since I'm creating them digitally, I want a place to store them. So I just put subfolders for each lesson, and I'll put my digital creations in there. And from that point, you can share them on Facebook. I hope you do share them on Facebook. We love to see them. You can print them out if you like, or you can just store them digitally and enjoy them on your computer. One thing that I have started doing is making a slideshow, and there's different programs to make slideshows. I use iMovie, but you can put all of your digital pages into a slideshow, and then you can just sort of make a movie of a slideshow going through all of the pages that you created. And that's a great way to share it. And it's a great way for you to review what you've learned as well. So that's kind of digital in a nutshell. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've done with the digital next. And then after that, we'll talk about hybrid.
So here's some examples of the digital. This was the first way that I decided to keep track of my studies, and I just made a bunch of pages of yellow cardstock and put a sticker at the front. I used one of those coil binding systems, and then this was just the schedule that Robin provided, and I think actually that page she provided as well. And then I started doing digital pages, and I really didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. I think actually this one was Robin's page too, because I think I copied the first couple pages she did. Then I started doing my own pages, and so I did these digitally. I shared them digitally on the Facebook group, and then I just printed them out and cut them in half and stuck them in the book. So that's all that was. So these were all really digital, and it's sort of hybrid in a way because I did print it out, but I didn't add anything. There's no stickers or anything on there. I just did it digitally, and I printed it out and put it in there. So I did the overview era and the creation era and the patriarch era all like that. This was something that I did just in the, well, Robin wasn't doing well, we just kind of took a little break, and this was just some psalm challenge that I did on the group, and basically this is exactly the same thing. I did a digital page and I printed it and glued it into a little book like this. And this one, I'll link to this one because I think this is a really neat idea for a digital, simple digital scrapbook. So what I did, you can make it any size. I decided to do 5x7, kind of a postcard size. I made digital images. I printed them out because they were 5x7. I printed two to a page, and this is all purely digital. There's nothing on top. So I just printed out the digital pages that I created, and I'll link to show you how to do the binding. But it's super easy. And then you have, you know, a record of what you learned. And what I did in this one, I glued 2 pages back to back. And then I did not glue the top, so there's a pocket in every single one. So then if there was extra charts and different things that I wanted to keep track of, then I could stick them in the pockets. So that was a really neat idea. So a couple of ideas for digital. Another thing that I had thought about but I haven't done yet, but I think it's a great idea, is just to gather your digital images and make a photo book. Send it to Costco or something like that and have them print a photo book of your digitals. So whether you want to keep them just online in a slideshow or just in an album or print them out, those are lots of great options. On to hybrid.
And the third section, the third type of kit, it's not really a kit per se, but it's a way of using particularly the digital kit. And so you would design your page in your Photoshop or compatible software, and then you would print out your elements. So you could print out your papers, you could print out your journal cards, you can print out your text boxes, different things. And then with the hybrid, then you need that design software as well. And then you can make notebooks, you can do dex cards, you can do journals, you can do traveler's notebook, all kinds of different things. The difference between hybrid and printable is printable, the pages are already done for you. You print them and cut them out. In the hybrid, you would design the pages yourself. So for example, you would take like a scrapbook page and then you would add elements to it digitally, and then you would print that out. Whereas in printable, you would print out the scrapbook page, print out the elements, cut out the elements, and attach them physically to your page. So hopefully that makes sense, the difference between those things. Again, with hybrid, you can print on paper, cardstock, stickers, clear or white stickers, whatever works. So that's the last type of kit, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that's kind of the one that I gravitate towards. I have done all of the different versions, but the hybrid is the one that I use the most. So I'm going to show you a few projects that I made with the hybrid version of the kits. So like I said, hybrid is kind of what I gravitate towards, so I have lots of different examples of that. So I'm just going to quickly go through a couple of things here. This is one of my earlier ones, so I did this with the Conquest era. Some of this is just die cuts glued on, but a lot of it is like I would take the verse and I would color it, and then I put a frame around it and print it out, and then this was separate and this was separate. This is some background page. Again, I did basically the same thing in that one. This, for example, was a Dex card, and I added Today I Choose Joy. I think I added the images, maybe they were there already. I think I added them. And then I printed it out. So you create something digitally, and then you print it out. And this is some tags that I did the same process. So I would create the tag with all of these elements digitally and then print it out. So there's that one.
The Exodus I did fairly near the beginning as well. And this one too I did, you know, I would make these digitally and then print them out. This I made kind of a junk journal as well with different pockets. So I made these digitally, printed them out. All of that is a waterfall. This was just some stickers. This was a pocket that I made digitally and printed it out. So lots of different ways of doing that. This was the Contagious Grace kit. So I did, these were journal treasure pages that I made myself digitally and then printed them out. So basically what Robin does, but I did my own version this time. This was what we're working on with our Essential 100 Bible study that's running, as well as the Bible era study. And I have a whole video making this from scratch, so I'm not going to go into this, but this was all hybrid as well. So some of it was digital. I have stickers, I have die cuts, I have die cuts that I created, so lots of different things in there. This was just one I did with the Contagious Grace kit as well. So I made my own pages and tags and different things with that one. So here's the one that I made for Judges era. It's a junk journal type thing as well, and a mix of digital and printables in here as well. So lots of different things in there. And this is my Kingdom era journal, and I did, you know, this was a digital design that I put a few elements together to make. Same as this, printed them out. I think I actually made this collage page myself, and then I did the postcards as well in here, but then I did some extra things. So there was some tags here that I made and some of the charts and stuff, and I also have a video on making this binding if you're interested in that. So again, I just, you know, different combination of lots of different things. So hybrid can be lots of different things. It can be, you know, very, very simple, or it can be quite complex as well. So hopefully this has given you some ideas on how to download the kit if you were needing help with that, to organize your kits and to work with your kits. And please comment on this video. Let me know if something wasn't clear, if you still need help in some area to do with the kits. And if you'd like to see me make a project, a simple project or whatever kind of project in any of the areas, let me know that as well, and I'll take that into consideration when I do some more videos. So thanks for hanging in there, guys. I know this is a super long video, but hopefully it has been helpful. See you in the next video.